There we go. Fantastic. So that should be recording now. So just a few key pieces to get started. Just wanting to acknowledge the First Nations of Southern Queensland and their ongoing connection to country, lands and waterways, and paying our deep respect to elders past and present, and acknowledging any First Nations students that we have with us this evening. Thank you very much. Okay, so just a few pieces of housekeeping for our session. If we can pop our microphones on mute for the moment, that would be great. We will have some time for questions and the like a little bit later. So do feel free to utilize the chat for any questions. So there's a few of us who'll be able to answer those in the background, or again, we might address those at the end with our Q&A session. For students that have a residential school, so those are students sort of in our human anatomy, science-based courses. Hopefully you realise you have a residential school. Please do stick around and I will put up those courses on the last slide. Just stick around with us for about 10 or so minutes at the end, just to talk through some key points for those. And again, it is being recorded, so please don't stress if anything happens or you need to duck away, or if you know anyone that perhaps is missing this session tonight. We are recording it, and I'll email the link out for that as soon as it's up, which possibly may be into early next week, but we will send that out as soon as we have that. Okay. So today, we're going to run through a fair bit of information, so do bear with us, and obviously you can come back in that recording to go through it later. So we're going to talk about some predictors of success, a lot around the learning and support services available to you as UniSQ students. We'll have our iConnect team, so that's our first line of inquiries. So Samantha from iConnect is going to do a session and a demonstration so you can see exactly how to get started with your studies and where those important bits are. We have Rami from ICT that's going to talk some tips, tricks, and a little bit around AI as well, and the ethics and so forth from a university perspective. And then we'll have that sort of Q&A section at the end, followed by a quick chat about residential schools. So a fair bit to get through, so just bear with us as we work through. Okay, it looks like Grishma's got a few issues around hearing, so please do let me know, Grishma, if you can't hear me still, and Rami from ICT possibly might be able to assist there as well, but do let us know, because I know you've just messaged through to myself there. Hopefully you might be able to hear all right now. Yeah, fantastic, you can, great. Okay, so let's just share to start with in the chat if we can, so you can get to see, you know, what others, I guess, motivations were for studying Head Start. So let's just take a moment to pop in the chat. First of all, why did you decide to study Head Start? And then maybe a second piece around what are you then looking to do after school, just to get to know each other. So use the chat, everyone. And we'd love to hear, you know, why you've decided to study Head Start, what you're hoping to get from it, and what you'd like to look at doing after school. We'll see some coming through there. There we go. To get an idea of what uni is like, absolutely.
What do you want to do? Or I'll do whatever you don't want to do.
Oh, I don't know. I'll do Mitch, I guess.
Learning new things. Absolutely. Looking
Right, help set up the show.
challenge, perhaps.
I didn't hear, sorry. I'll go help set up the
Info
show.
on the career. Lots about see what uni's like. Looking to study cybersecurity. Perfect. This will be a great first starting point for that.
Is this live?
What?
I think you're done. Head Start.
Quite a few looking to head into university, some into medicine. Oh, easy to reach our goal. I love this. Hopefully this is a great way to tick off a goal for you. Or paramedic. Excellent. Someone's put there around eligibility for our early offer. So that's really exciting that you've seen that information. And absolutely, for anyone that successfully completes a Head Start course, you're eligible for that early offer as early as August in your year 12, which is big peace of mind as you're heading into all the assessments in year 12. Awesome. Lots around, deciding on future careers. Absolutely. And a lot of people use Head Start as a way that maybe you're exploring still a couple of different options. And some people, do study a Head Start course and they realize it's not actually what they do enjoy and what they like. And that is okay, because that's all helping you along the way of your, career journey. And it's helping you make a decision earlier than perhaps, if you started a full degree later. Fantastic. Thanks so much for putting everything into the chat, guys. I really appreciate it. Sometimes it's nice to know that, it's not just you on this particular journey, or there's lots of others looking to study similar to yourself into the future. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to move on here now. Gemma, are you online? I haven't quite seen Gemma just yet.
I am here.
Ah, thanks, Gem. Perfect. I will stop sharing my screen and I can hand over to Gemma.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I will share my screen. I am really bad at this. I do apologize if I get it wrong. And you'll all be able to learn what not to do when you're doing Zoom sessions. Just bear with me 1 second while I share my proper screen now. This one. I think. No, here. Excellent. That looks like I've done it right. Perfect. So as James said, my name's Gemma. I'm from the Student Success Advising team. We don't actually get too much time with our wonderful Head Start students as much as we would like in your first sort of courses, but we will be here as you move into your degree programs. But if you ever need anything, please connect with us on iConnect. So what I'm going to discuss with you today is really just about our 7 predictors of success. So our 7 predictors of success are just 7 really great top tips that we want you to consider when you're studying, and some really great ideas on how to make sure that you're going to be successful through your study period with us. So number 1 on the screen, super simple, time on task. One of the most impactful things that you can do being successful, not just at uni but at school, is to devote enough time to your study. So as a Head Start student, we understand that you don't just have your university course, but you've got that high school work to do as well. So as a rough guide, we recommend that you spend at least 10 hours a week on your Head Start course. So, making sure that you have time between your schoolwork and your university subject will be really important for you. So that 10 hours can include some, or if you're studying on campus, online, if you're, you need to do any researching, any assessment, and really connecting with your study desk. So that obviously will fluctuate. Some weeks you might not have that much to do, but others you may. So we just recommend that you keep your eye on that task to ensure that you have some great success there. Number 2, why is my screen not moving? It is now, sorry. So number 2 is go to class. So this obviously sounds super obvious, touched on it in the previous one. At school, you obviously have to go to class. You move through your classes all day. And at university, because your classes might be online, you're not necessarily attending them all the time. So you want to make sure that you're regularly checking in on that classwork and making sure that you are connecting with your teaching team and, if possible, any of your fellow peers. That will ensure that you're across any content and really up to date with any assessment requirements. Number 3 is focusing on those goals. There's going to be times that you're going to feel possibly overwhelmed or not really sure why you decided to do schoolwork and university work. So we want to remind you to stay motivated and keep your eye on that goal of what that means at the end of the semester. It's normal to run into challenges. So have a sense of what is going to bring you to the end, what's going to come to you at the end of this, what's in your possible career pathways, and that will definitely help you hang in there and persist in your studies. Number 4 is be confident. So you got into UniSQ because you are excelling at high school and you belong here, and we want you to be here. We want you to have a sense of academic self-confidence and an expectation that you can and will succeed at uni. Be kind to yourself. Try to engage in a bit of positive self-talk, like, yes, I'm here for a reason. I'm doing this for all the right reasons, and I'm really great, and I'm going to be really good at this, because we believe in you and we want you to believe in yourself. So make sure you celebrate any small wins. So each week that you get through all of your reading or any assignments, make sure that you give yourself a pat on the back, or go and do something that you really like to do. Get mum and dad to take you out for dinner or something nice. Sorry, mum and dad, but something nice that will really make you feel like you're doing all those great things, because you are deserving of all that when you're doing such an incredible study load and studying at university. Number 5 is develop those peer relationships. So having a network of friends that you can sort of draw on throughout your studies is really important. So making sure you're connecting again with your teaching teams, any of your peers, reaching out to any of your supports that you have at school and the supports that we have here at UniSQ. Number 6 is super important, is getting onto study desk. So to maximize your chance of academic success, you really need to feel confident with UniSQ's online learning environment. Now, you're all young, you probably are better at anything ICT or computer related than any of us here. So you would never have any issues sharing a screen in Zoom, but really tackling our study desk and really understanding how it works will be a real key for you. So make sure you do that. I'm sure it'll be done in speed time. And if you haven't already, please check your UMail. So it's your UniSQ mail, which you can access through UConnect. And that's where a lot of the really important information goes to. So please keep an eye on that. I know you'll have lots to look at. So just make sure you're doing that very regularly. Like I said, study desk is really important because it has everything on there. It has all of your study materials, your assignments, everything that you need to hear to read up on from your teaching team, and to make sure that you're really up to date with everything that needs to be for your course. And last but not least is number 7, is get some balance. So if as a student you've got school, you've probably got some extracurricular activities in sporting or anything outside of school along with uni. Hopefully you're not also having some kids, I'm sure, are juggling work as well. So it's really big for you to get some balance. So that's personal life balance. So getting outside, having some time with your friends where you're not, in front of a computer or having to revise anything, really taking the time to spend some time on yourself. It might only be an hour a week, but we really encourage you to get some balance, spend some time with those friends, and remember that you're only in those last years of high school. You should also be enjoying it. And if you have, we want you to make sure that those commitments aren't taking every last bit of your being. So as I said, I'm Gemma from Student Success Advising. We wish you all the very best and hope that you have a super fantastic time here at UniSQ.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Gem. And I've just popped in the chat as well, because I do know that I sent this Zoom link out to some students who may still have applications going through the process. We have been certainly overwhelmed by applications at this time in the last week or so. So if your application's still going through that process, please sit tight. You will absolutely get a lot out of this session. And once that, outcome, has come your way in an email, and hopefully it's that offer, your log-on details and those sorts of things will follow quickly afterwards, and you'll be able to then revisit this session and go through everything as well. So if you've got concerns with your application, definitely send us an email at headstart@UniSQ. Otherwise, know, you know, it's going through the process as quickly as possible. Perfect. Thanks, Gemma. So we're now going to move on to our fantastic staff within our library and peer learning support. So I'll hand over to Liz for her part.
Thanks, Jamie. So I'll just share my screen and start my PowerPoint. All right, so you should be able to see library services and support for learning. Fantastic. All right, so my name's Liz and I'm the Education Liaison Librarian. So in the next little few minutes, you're going to hear from me, from Charlene, one of our learning advisors, and from Tony, one of our client support staff in the library. So we have library officers, we have a peer learning coordinator. Ben, he won't be speaking with you tonight, but Charlene will be doing that, and learning advisors and librarians. So I've just covered that. So I'm going to hand over the speaking to Tony, who's going to tell you a bit about the library.
Hi everyone. As Liz said, my name's Tony. I'm one of the library officers at the UniSQ. I work at the Toowoomba campus library, but you can find library officers on all 3 campus libraries. On the screen at the moment, you have our opening times. If you can't remember this, please go to our website to look up the times. Don't Google them. Google has given people the very wrong information of our opening times. So please go straight to our website rather than using Google. That's just a little tip for the future. Okay, the main role that I have is to be your first point of contact for the library. So you'll find me on the help desk. We answer the main library telephone. We're on live chat and Zoom sessions. We're also responsible for the physical spaces in the library. We have a broad knowledge and can answer most of your questions. However, for questions we can't answer, we will place you in the care of someone who can. We're also responsible for posting books to distance students with a free postage bag included. We also scan requests that may come through from students and staff. All students will receive a gift printing allocation of $50 at the beginning of an enrolled study period, up to $150. I'll put some links in the chat after this so you can have a look and see what's going on. Yeah, the library does offer the printing services via the library website. The print kiosk, which is at the Toowoomba campus, is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. each weekday. Printing can be posted to your home address, delivered to either Ipswich or Springfield libraries, or picked up in person from the Toowoomba library at any time. But no question is too silly. Please come and see us if you even have the smallest question. That's what we're there for. Yeah, but I'll put some links up in the chat now for you so you can have a look at those different things.
Thanks, Tony. I'll be showing you the library website as well in a little bit. And I cannot, I can go to the next one. Okay. So over to you, Charlene.
Hi guys, I'm Charlene. I am one of the learning advisors at the university. I am also based in the Toowoomba campus, but we also have learning advisors that are based in Ipswich and Springfield campuses. I'm actually here to talk about the PASS program, which is the peer assisted sessions. So these are programs that are run by, sorry, they're not programs, they're within your course. They are sessions that are run by students who have been successful in that subject within the last couple of years. So you might even get a Head Start student from last year or the year before. You might get somebody who's in their 3rd year, and their job is to create sessions within a week where you can go and feel comfortable and have a peer conversation around the content maybe, or, you know, other questions that you have. It's run for students by students. It definitely identifies any gaps. And if there are any questions because university is a very different learning framework to high school, where you can just put your hand up and things are very different here. So if you are worried or concerned, talk to your PASS leader and they can give you some advice on how they approach lecturers or tutors, not saying that they're going to bite your head off or that they're scary people, but you know, it's someone on your side to help support you. Okay, is there another slide? Perfect. And these are the peer assisted study sessions courses that have a peer assisted person ready for you. If there isn't one, you may get one in your first year of university. On your study desk, it's this big, beautiful purple button, and you just click on it and it will actually take you to the Zoom meeting. Generally, the past sessions are via Zoom because people within the courses that you're doing may also be working or have other times, you know, need to work outside of school hours. So like you guys, so it'll be on Zoom. Thanks, Liz.
No worries. And we also have a few comments there on why students like us from previous sessions. So it's a really, really good program. Charlene, we also have a couple of slides about student learning advising, but did you want to look at that later in the session?
Do they come up again later, or do I just say it now?
This is the only slide deck I'm sharing, unless you have
Okay,
one.
well, I might as well just go through it now.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yep, that sounds good.
So you guys are lucky because once you enroll in UniSQ, you get a lot of free stuff. You get access to a lot of support and webinars, and you get a free ebook as well. So the first thing in the slide is the academic success webinars. I just finished one before this session, which was around feedback. So there are 25 different topics that we talk about that range from if you are ADHD and you need some study skills, come and talk to us, or yeah, so it's just checking out those different academic success webinars. Use the QR code. I'm not really sure why there's a big blue line. Hopefully when you get the slide deck, you'll be able to access it. Studiosity is an online feedback service, which is, again, free to every student. You get 10 interactions every 6 months. So for this course, use up until the 30th of June, and then it starts again for your next trimester. And they're really good with help for spelling, grammar, punctuation. If you have your topic sentence, if you have linking sentences, all of those sorts of things are really helpful. They don't help with content though. So if you ask them to, have I answered the question properly, they won't give you any information on that. They'll just do the basic drafting stuff. Then you have learning advisors. I'm one of 10. There's 10 of us in our team. There's one for every discipline. So there's an education one, there's a criminology one, there's a health one. And our job is to work with individual students or groups of students to develop their academic writing skills. And that can be from okay, you don't know how to write a report, make an appointment to see a learning advisor, and we can step you through that. One of the biggest things that I'm finding that I'm doing at the moment is breaking down assessment tasks and rubrics. At high school, a rubric is your criteria sheet, or at some schools are still calling them guides to making judgment. There's various ways that you call them. My job is to help break that down and then work out how best to get you to help find the information. Oh, there's a lot. And then there's a maths learning advisor. Her job is 100% maths. She has multiple degrees in maths, so she's actually really good in all of those math areas. I am also the First Nations learning advisor, and my job is to work with students to help embed Indigenous perspectives into their assessments. So, for example, the education one, it might actually ask for how can you sorry, I've just gone blank for a second there. How can you teach Torres Strait Islander students this particular thing? And my job will be to sit with you and talk about how you can do that. Perfect. Is there another slide?
There is.
Perfect. Last slide.
We've pretty much covered a lot of these.
Yeah. The past sessions we've done, the peer support. So A Skills is for students with autism, but it also allows for other students to come and meet with other people, not actually physically, but online. We have a Murray meetup where they meet over in the College of First Nations every trimester. We actually have a introductory lunch tomorrow. So if you are a First Nations student, there's a lunch for you tomorrow. Pathways Connect is TPP program, which you guys don't need to know about at the moment, and English Conversation Cafe, which is another peer-led program. So the next one is the Academic Success ebook, free for you, and it has hundreds and hundreds of pages of different skills and different things about what it's like to be a university student and what happens if you fail your assessment, or what happens if you get in trouble for academic integrity. And then there's all of that information in there. And then the other two ones are self-help resources. There are step-by-step guides in the library. I know this is a lot of information and I'm sorry, but take your time and have a look through the foundational skills and the self-help resources at your own time.
Thanks, Charlene. That's brilliant. And I will PDF these slides and add them to the chat after our session. So we'll go on to the next slide if I can work my screen. So I'm a librarian here at UniSQ. I'm the Education Liaison Librarian. There's like Learning Advisor, there's a librarian for each sort of discipline area. So engineering, maths and sciences have Emma as their librarian. We have a health librarian, business librarian, arts and history librarian, and I've probably left a couple out. We help you find quality information for your assignments and for your work, for your study. We help you develop search strategies. We help you with your referencing. Don't panic about referencing. I hope you all do this at school. You all should have a teacher librarian who will help you with referencing. I'll show you where those guides are, and I'll explain how we can help you. And we look at, yes, mainly information literacy and referencing. And next slide is a tour of the library website. Hopefully hopefully you can see the library website there. Can someone let me know, because I can't see any people?
I can see it, Liz.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so this is our library homepage. Now the link is always up here in the top right-hand corner of every website on UniSQ web pages, sorry. We have, this is the search area, the catalogue, and I'll show you how to search that in a minute quickly. These are some other resources for you. I'm going to show you referencing, study support. Here is the information about contacting us that Tony spoke about. Please check this for opening hours. And this is our library events. So if I open that in a new tab, these are our online sessions. They're not recorded, they're multidisciplinary, and they're offered at various times during the trimester. So if we go back up to the top, I'm going to pop a search term in, a search strategy or search string, primary education and math. Now, I'm the education librarian, so that's my area of expertise, but I just wanted to show you some different search strategies. So I'm using inverted commas to include two words together as one concept. So primary education, the inverted commas around that will tell our search engine or search robot, whatever, to search that phrase together as a concept. I'm joining two concepts together with the Boolean search operator and. Now it's in capital letters, so it tells the search engine that to join these two together. Math asterisk is probably one of my favourite search operators, because that asterisk will tell the search engine to search for anything beginning with math. So it could be maths, mathematics, mathematician, mathematical, and it broadens that range. We hit search and we get over 5,000 results, which is pretty good. Now, I'm just going to show you some of the different types of resources. We have articles. These are journal articles. They're available to you, should be available in full text. You should never have to pay for anything while you're at university. If it asks for payment, contact the library and see what's going on. We have a range of databases we can access this through. But how do I know if it's useful? You scroll down, you have a look at the subject terms here, and then you read the summary. If it's not useful, go out, because you don't have time to waste reading things you don't need. Peer-reviewed is a really important thing to look for. Peer-reviewed articles are articles that have been written by experts in the field. They're sent off to a journal for publication. That journal just doesn't publish them. They send them out to reviewers. The reviewers don't know who's written this article, who's done this research, and they evaluate it. They pick it to pieces. They look at if the research is valid, if it's current, all that, those sorts of things. So then they let the journal know if it's worthy of publication or not. So this is the highest academic scholarly type resource you can have, and this is what you should be using at university. So we ask you, you're expected to use the library catalogue to find your resources and not Google, because the library catalogue will bring back mostly scholarly academic material. It's then up to you to assess that as to its usefulness to your needs, that's your own thing, but you should be using the library catalogue. Now, you can filter your searches. You can filter by publication date. So your lecturer may say, I only want publications, I only want research published in the last 5 years. So you change the date there. You can search by resource type. So we might have articles or book chapters or books. You might only want online things. So you can search by resource type. Keyword is another really useful search filter, and it really narrows down your search. So if you're looking for only mathematics education, you can click on that. Okay. I was helping someone last year look for something, and it was really difficult to find. It was very niche what they were looking for. But we clicked secondary education and it just hit on exactly what they were looking for. So that's really, really useful. Now, if you're not sure about this, is just a quick tour of how to search the library website. We have some self-guided tutorials for you. So to go back to the library homepage, you click on this little area in the top left-hand corner, and we go down to study support. So in study support, we've got study and research toolkit. So I'm going to click on finding information because this is my area. If we go to finding information, we can look at how we search the library catalogue, creating a winning search strategy. What sort of information sources should you be using at university? Okay, so have a look at those. They will really help you. If we go back to our study support, we have subject support. So go to our subject support. I'm going to open education because, again, that's my area. I open education. For my education students, I've made some finding information. This is what I do in my consultations with people, and some referencing information as well. We use APA 7. I'll show you where to get that referencing information right now. Oh, no, one more thing in study support. Online study support and consultations. Now, I will pop these links in the chat afterwards, but you find your online study support for librarians here. Your consultation bookings for librarians. So if you're doing an education subject, you would choose me and you would find the time there. If there's no time that suits you, you go over to the information and you can email me at this address. If you can't find your librarian's email, contact the library. Okay. You can also make an appointment with the learning advisor. So a consultation with the learning advisor here, and you click on UniSQ Access and you fill in that information there. Okay. Now to referencing, and I've almost finished. Don't panic about referencing, but you do need to reference. Referencing just tells us where you got your information from. Okay, it's a matter of academic integrity. You can't just, you might know some facts, but you need to back that up with research. Okay, and referencing shows us what type of information you found, the quality of your information, and one of the main purposes of referencing is to lead your reader, which will be your lecturer or your marker, back to the source. So we have different styles of referencing according to your discipline. I know education students use APA 7. People in other disciplines use other referencing styles. Let me open APA 7 referencing guide. Harvard is the same. So we have this referencing guide. Now you can see here, I have it bookmarked. I never reference anything or help anyone without using this guide. All right. So I want you to have a look through these books. I don't recommend that you print it out, although some people do, because you can't use this search bar. If you need to search, say, how to reference images, you can just pop that in the search bar and you can find it straight away. So it's really helpful. Also on referencing, we have a getting started with your style tutorial. So have a look at this. It goes through the in-text referencing, reference list, everything that you need to know there. I think I've covered everything. Oh no, there's one thing I haven't covered, and that is requesting items. So if I'm going to try and find a book, a hard copy book, because I'm probably almost out of time. These are our online books. So you just go to the blue link and go to the online access. And this is available at Springfield Library. So you click on there, on the book, and you click on loan. You need to be logged in, which I'm not, but you click on loan. It will go there to sign in, and you just request. You can have it requested to be posted out to you, or you can pick it up from any campus library. You get a return paid postage envelope as well. So that's a quick tour of things with the library. I'm going to stop sharing now because that's the end of our slideshow. I think I've covered everything. Did I cover everything, Tony and Charlie? There's so much.
I think it's only books that get posted out that would get the free return postage back.
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. You can request scanning too from a book. That's the only other thing. Sometimes we only have a couple of books, and you can request a chapter to be scanned out of a book, but we have to abide by Australian copyright law. So we can only do one chapter or 10% ever.
Yes, and you may not like that. We don't like that either, because we want to give our students whatever they want, but we're not allowed to.
Yes.
And also the scan depends on whether the book's on the shelf. So if the book's on loan, then we can't scan it. We have to get it back from that borrower.
Yes, and that could take a while. Usually it's a 4-day turnaround for scans. That's if the book's available. But if it's out, we have to wait till the book comes back. We can't, if we don't have the book, we just can't scan. We can't send anything from an ebook because of Australian copyright law as well. So
yeah, and we try to have, it's a TEXA requirement that we have resources recommended to you to read in your courses. Sometimes we just cannot get a book due to Australian licensing. It's just not available to us. That happens rarely. It doesn't happen all the time, which is good. So we may have your textbook as an online book. Usually, though, it's restricted to a 3-user license. That's because of the huge cost to these academic textbooks and the licensing. But if we do have it, it's not available, just try again when you get a chance. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, everyone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everyone from the library team. Appreciate that very much. Obviously, a lot of information, of course, to digest, but like we've said, this session's recorded. We'll put some information both in the chat here, but also in the email next week that will have the recording. I'll make sure we have a lot of this helpful information listed within that email.
Thanks, Jamie. That's great. And I will pop some links and now as you're talking about the next topic.
Brilliant. Well, I thought if Rami is available, we might pop into Rami from ICT and just sort of segue a little bit around into the academic integrity that we've obviously mentioned there and that side of everything. So Rami, I'll just hand over to you if that's okay.
Yep, that's totally fine. Thanks, Jamie. All right, so give me a second, please. I'll share my screen. Share screen. And this one is a very quick, short presentation. All right, so yeah. So essentially, I'm from ICT support. I'll tell a bit about our team and what sort of support is available before I jump into the AI and academic integrity part of things. So ICT support is reachable via iConnect team, or you can contact us directly over the phone. Our details are listed on the website. So if you look us up, ICT Service Desk, USQ, you will be able to find our number. Some of the things that we help out with it is if you're unable to log in, if you have any queries related to Study Desk, some things are not working as you expected it to work. Any login issues that you're experiencing, any issues with your UMail, which is your university student email systems. And sometimes if you're having any problem in the computer labs, whether it's relating to some software use or whether something is not working as expected. The other thing I would also like to mention is as a university student, you are able to use Wi-Fi at a lot of other universities, many hospitals, and other TAFE institutions. So wherever you see EduRoam signal, it's called EDUROAM. It's available at quite a few places. You should be able to connect to it using your USQ login. Now, if you run into any challenges, you can contact us and we can help you out with that. If you're studying remotely, we have the option to help you out remotely as well. We can remote into your computer and look at what sort of error messages and things you're seeing. Especially during exam time, if you have one of those invigilated exams, we can help troubleshoot your home environment and make sure everything runs smooth on the day. One thing I would also like to mention is that we also have Turbo available. So I'll open that up. So Turbo is a USQ platform to allow use of software remotely. So you don't need to install applications on your computer. This will ask you for your login, and there are some of these specialized software available on Turbo. So if you were to click on any of these software, it will fire up the app and allow you to carry on your course, like if your course has a software requirement. Some courses don't use virtualized software. In that case, you will be granted access to VPN, but those instructions will all be provided on the study desk. And you can contact us if you run into any problem. The last thing I would like to mention about is AI. So there are, in vast majority of the courses, use of AI in written assignment content is not allowed. And we use software to detect AI written work. So if you have, even sometimes students think, you can write only a couple of lines here and there, but unfortunately it all shows up. AI written content is very, it's different from a regular human written work, and we can detect it quite easily. So I would recommend you reach out to your course examiner if you have any queries. And in first instance, AI shouldn't be used. It also beats the purpose of the assignment, where one of the skills that you acquire during your educational journey is to develop those critical skills and research skills, and it will prevent that from happening. But like I said, if you have any queries, reach out to your course examiner, and we can also help out if you have any particular questions. But yep, that's it from me. Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Thanks so much, Rami. Does anyone have any questions? We might just take a slight pause there, and if anyone has any questions sort of around those key topics we've just covered, please feel free to use the chat or unmute and ask any of the staff that have just presented if you've got any questions.
Jamie, I have a question that was posted directly to me, and it's a really great question. Can I?
Perfect, Liz, thank you.
Share that. The question was, are we allowed to use referencing websites like MyBib? So there's MyBib, there's Cite This For Me, there's lots of different referencing generators out there. We don't recommend that you use them because quite often they're incorrect. They're robots. They don't look at how it should be formatted. APA 7, we follow APA 7 guidelines, but the Harvard guideline, Harvard referencing, has been made up within UniSQ. So our markers and our lecturers use the UniSQ guides, and that's what students are expected to use to make sure it's correct. We have a citation tool on our library catalogue. You might notice when you search for something, just search for dogs, for example, you'll see a cite button on the item. Sometimes that's incorrect. These citations are made by robots. It may have all the information there that you need, but it may have different capital letters. So when you're looking at referencing, you need to look at formatting. Is every word capitalized? Should every word be capitalized? Should the title of the article be in italics, or the title of the journal be in italics? So they're the sorts of things you're looking at in referencing. And it's not the most interesting thing you will be doing at university, I will admit to that. But it's a couple of marks you can get if you do it properly, if you use our guides. If you are absolutely have no idea about referencing, or you think, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm doing, contact your librarian. We have the webinars on referencing as well. Pretty much you are responsible for your referencing. Okay, so if you use a generator and it does it incorrectly, then you'll lose marks. Okay. There has been research done on referencing generators as well, and it shows that they're incorrect most of the time. So just be careful with that. So great question. We get that question a lot from undergrads and postgrads. So thanks for that.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Liz. And I just see a question there that I was just about answering. So we are going to very shortly have a tour of the study desk, which is the platform that all of your content is basically housed for your courses. So Jenny sort of had there, where will the majority of classwork be done? So we'll have a good tour of that system, but sort of like Liz said there and alluded to, you know, you guys are, I guess, responsible for your learning, when you're going to learn. So actually, you know, developing your own time management and timetable as well. So, but Samantha's going to help step us through in a moment, you know, some of those key areas as to how to get started.
Jamie, you're gone.
I'm gone. Can you see me, Charlene? Can you hear me?
Jamie, where you go?
Can everyone else hear me okay?
Yeah, I can see and hear you.
Oh, must be poor Charlene.
Yeah, I can
Sorry,
hear you.
Charlene. Sorry guys, so yes, we'll just move on. I think there, thanks Rami for putting that information in there. So we'll hand over to Samantha. So Samantha's one of our current students. So she works in our iConnect team as one of our concierges. So she knows all about the study desk and how to find everything. So I'll hand over to her, who's going to step me through. Charlene, sorry, come see me if you need.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jamie. I'm just going to share my screen, so hopefully we can go through this PowerPoint. I'll just share that one. There we go. Okay, can everyone see the PowerPoint that is there? Yep, fantastic. Alrighty. So yes, as Jamie said, I am from iConnect, and that means that I am also a current student. So today I'm just going to talk to you about how we can help you on your education journey, because that's what we're here for. And so we'll just click through this one. So iConnect is a student-run service, which means it's students helping students. Everyone who works at iConnect is a current student as well. So working at iConnect, it's a bit funny because sometimes you have someone in your program and you're like, I have had that exact same problem before. Let me show you how it's fixed. And so we've got that student experience, which means that we're well placed to assist current students. So we are part of a tiered service model as well, which means that if we don't know the answer, we can connect you with a team that does. So yeah, if you have any questions at all, no matter how small you might think they are, iConnect is here to help you. So we get quite a range of questions coming through to us. Here's a few examples of the ones that we get. So it's everything from where is my class? How do I attend it? Where can I find my textbooks? How can I connect with other students? And how am I supposed to enroll in my course or read the recommended enrollment pattern? Everything like that. And we can then also connect you with additional information. So when you reach out to iConnect, you might say something like, hi, I'm just starting, how do I enroll? And we can assist you with your enrollment, unless it's something that we need to put through to the enrollments team, of course. But yeah, since you've mentioned that you are an an entering student, we will then also just maybe let you know some other information that you might want to know about, like student printing. We can also assist with that, although the library staff, I think, is incredibly helpful as well. And we've got, yeah, we can also assist you with connecting to campus Wi-Fi, downloading Microsoft 365, and of course, using Study Desk and other UniSQ systems. Okay. And so some of our most common services are ID cards, placement cards, tertiary transport stickers, and the international arrivals process. So that is only for international students when they present to campus. Domestic students don't need to worry about that one. So the ID cards, fantastic. They can help you borrow library books on campus and get you into the study spaces that are open 24/7 after hours. And placement cards is most relevant for nursing, midwifery and paramedicine students. And the tertiary transport stickers, I'm a big fan of those. I use those a lot in my first year of uni. It gets you a discount on the buses to and from campus, or just around generally as well. That's just how I use the bus. Alrighty. And so you can find us in quite a range of spaces. So we have our face-to-face environment. So I am on the Toowoomba campus, and that is where you can find us in R Block, which is the main student central building, also known as the refectory. Level one, right across from Bounce, which is one of my favorite cafes on campus. We are also at both Ipswich and Springfield libraries. At Ipswich, that's in library level 1, and Springfield in the B block atrium. On chat as well. So the little chat function, when you are on the UniSQ website, this little live chat that's circled there, that does connect you to a real person. So you are speaking with one of us iConnect concierges, and we will try our best to answer your inquiry over the chat. And that is another place where we can then transfer to another team if needs be for further advice, and similarly in face-to-face. You can also call us on the phones or send us an email. And we are available on chat and phone lines Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m, as well as Saturday and Sunday, 12 noon until 5 p.m. But in the face-to-face space, it is Monday to Friday, 8 till 5. There we go. And yeah, so as current students ourselves, we are really excited about helping you in your study journey, and helping you feel empowered to use all of these UniSQ systems to feel confident in your studies. There we go. So I'll just hop out of that one and share this page here so that we can do a study desk tour. Are we able to see the page there? Fantastic. Thank you, Jamie. Alrighty. So what I'm going to go through first is the study desk. So when you go to USQ, or UniSQ, we'll just hop into here, and this will click us into the home page just here. There we go. And so by clicking the UConnect button up the top, you can sign in. There we go. And within this, we can see announcements. So this is your important information. So this is the UConnect page, not just the study desk page. So we've got in UConnect, announcements, study desk, student center, support, library. So there's quite a lot of helpful information here. But specifically, we're going to have a hop into the study desk area. So for the course that you're enrolled in for Head Start, it should come up as the study period that it is. And then you can drop that one down. You can see that in trimester 1, 2024, I was enrolled in Eco 2104, Sustainable Economies. And so then to get into, there we go, just opened up one of the other courses. So let's say you're doing EDC 1000, which is Introduction to the Profession in the School of Education. So this is for trimester 1, 2024. There we go. So where you'll land when you click into the study desk, and I'll just clarify that this is by clicking the home button just here. There we go. Because if you click this page here, this will take you to the course specification. I've clicked that many times and gotten a bit confused about how I got there. And then this will take you directly to the forums, which we will talk about in a moment as well. There we go. Sorry, my screen is a little bit funny on my view, so that's why I'm minimizing it. There we go. So we are in EDC 1000 for trimester 1. Yep, fantastic. There we go. Okay, so once you've clicked that home button, you are in the course activity page. And so this will go through all of the information for the course pretty much. And so there's often a little welcome up the top here from the lecturer. And then these orange bits connect us to the forums, which we will explain a bit further in a moment. This class has a Zoom room that you can enter at allotted times, and that's just the easy link to get in there. And then here is where the bulk of the learning happens. So this is where all of the modules are. So this one we can see module 1, that's what is learning, and we can click into there and there are these activities to complete. There we go. And so then we can see that all of the content is within there. So this is for trimester 1, and that's why it looks so complete. For trimester 2 at the moment, the same course doesn't have the module information yet, because some lecturers will upload it in week 1 rather than orientation week. And some lecturers, in my experience, will upload the modules incrementally. So if you're supposed to do module 1 in week 1, they'll release module 1 in week 1 and module 2 in week 2, but some lecturers release it all at once. It's a personal preference of the lecturer. And so when you are getting started with your course, that is exactly what this Getting Started tab is for. And so this is the lecturer's introduction to you entering the course. So it will explain, this one is really, really helpful. It's got what should I do to get ready for the course? It will explain who the course team is and the expectations of students. So pretty much all of the Getting Started tabs will have this information, but it is a bit individual to each course and lecturer and the information that they need to include for their specific program. And so, yeah, it'll look a little bit different, but the key information will always be there for you. So I have always tried to have a look at this during O week. Sometimes that does slip a little bit into week 1, but it is fantastic for, figuring out exactly what the expectations of the course are, and also anticipating what you're actually going to learn in the course. So after the Getting Started tab, then we've got the little forums button there. And so again, the forums, they change a little bit depending on the course, but pretty much all of the time you're going to have the announcements and news forum and a general forum. Now, there will be some more prescriptive ones. So the announcements, that's generally where the lecturer will include really important information, or in the news forum as well. And for this course, we can also see that there is a past forum. So someone earlier was speaking about the past sessions, and this course does have them. So we can see that nice big button on the side there. And we have also got a forum, which for courses that I've been in before, that is often like the past leader will say, hi, I'm considering these times for our Zoom meeting, what works for everybody? And so you can then have some input about the forums or ask clarifying questions specifically to the past leader in there as well. There we go. And so then for this course, we can also see that the lecturer has provided specific learning forums for the different assessment pieces. So if you have a question, it's likely that another student will as well. So that's the benefit of using the forums rather than only emailing the lecturer. Because I know that I have looked at the forums before and been incredibly grateful that another student has asked the same question that I was thinking about. And yeah, so this one is really fantastic because it's great for clarifying some information on the assignment task sheet and things like that, or just having a bit of clarity about what you're supposed to do for it. And then we also have here forums specifically to each module. And so I've also noticed that a lot of lecturers will include introduce yourself to your peers. I would highly suggest this. I've had a really good experience doing this. Just at the beginning of the study period, just pop in, hi, my name's Samantha. This is what I'm studying. If you're on campus, want to start a study group or something, let me know. Things like that. So you can just introduce yourself to your peers and your lecturer and teaching team as well. So the key thing about the forums is that it is connecting you to both the teaching team and your peers. And that is why it's such a useful resource as a student. So following the forums, we have got the assessment tab as well. And so we can see in this course, there were quite a few different assessments in here. So I always make sure to have a look at this at the beginning of the study period. And I like to write down the dates on the physical calendar that I have up in my kitchen and make it really clear so that then when I'm, going about the house, I'm like, that's right, I do have an assignment I need to be working on. I also put it into my calendar on my phone. And there is a calendar in the study desk as well, which we'll have a look at too. And so we can see that for this course, there was a quiz that was due on the 9th of February, and that had a weighting of 10%. So out of the entire 100 marks for the course, this one was worth 10%. And that is something that I find very helpful to check because for each course, students are generally expected to spend approximately 10 hours per week per course per the university guidelines. And so then I like to try and break down my time depending on how much the weighting of the quiz or assessment item is, because you wouldn't need to put quite as much time into a 10% quiz as a 40% presentation. So as you can imagine, the 40% presentation will be a bit more time intensive, but the 10% quiz will be reviewing a few learning modules most of the time. There we go. And so then within here, this is where you can also see the assessment information. So this pink area, that is how you actually submit or access the assessment, depending on what style it is. And lecturers will often have a specific recording of a lecture about the assessment item. So that can be in addition to the weekly lecture as well. There will be one that is relating specifically to the assessment and the recommended approach to it as well, which is incredibly helpful. And then we've got the link to the forum as well there. So we can see that everything is kind of linking towards each other. There we go. And so then we can see the other assessment pieces here. So we can see that this one has the task and rubric. So that makes a bit more sense for the assignment rather than having it for a quiz. And so that will outline exactly what you need to do. And then there's that pink button again that we saw just like up here. There we go. Fantastic. Yep. And so that is the assessment tab. Now, this is where it would also be good to mention academic integrity. It is very important as a student to maintain your own academic integrity. And the university has very helpfully provided the mandatory training modules for that. And so if you click up into my courses, my one looks a little bit busy, but if you just have a look for academic integrity mandatory training. So you will need to complete this before you can submit assessment items. And it does take a little while. And the key thing with doing that, I've done it myself, of course, as well, because I'm a student, it's just making sure that you are understanding what it is that you are looking at. So yeah, using ChatGPT for assignments is a very key learning in that module. There we go. So after the assessment tab, we've then got the study schedule. And I love to print this one out at the beginning of each study period. And this is really fantastic for understanding the expectations of study as well and what you're supposed to be doing each week to maintain to keep on top of course content, because I have found that when I haven't been following the guidelines that have been provided by the lecturers about what to complete, and I'm like, oh no, I can just catch up on that next week. It is actually quite difficult to catch up on it next week, because then it becomes 2 or 3 weeks of content we have to catch up on. So I would really love to recommend that you follow the guidelines that your lecturers set out for you with the study schedule, because it is incredibly helpful. And so, yeah, we can see that for this one, it's just recommended that you go through the module before attending the lecture or the workshop, and then attend the workshop and complete the post-workshop material. And often there will also be an area in here where there will be like an assessment area, and it says, one of my lecturers, she would put, you should be starting assessment 1 now. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And so that is helpful too.
Samantha, do you mind? I'll just jump in. I know that there's been quite a few questions
absolutely.
around, like when do I have to attend, study and things like that. So obviously for most of our Head Start students, they're studying externally / online. Not too many will be coming on campus. So, it looks like this is a great example there of, when there might be online presentations. But obviously most of these type of sessions will be recorded and available, and there may just be other Zoom, opportunities that may not be mandatory that may be available as well, and that should all, be in their study desk.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we can see here that with doing the workshop, yeah, most workshops that I've attended have been recorded, specifically lectures. They are almost always recorded. And if they're not recorded this trimester, then they have been recorded and already uploaded in the previous trimester. Now that will be in that course activity page in the modules. And so something that UniSQ really excels at and has for many years, even before computers were in everybody's homes, is external learning. So even though you might not be attending the campus to learn, that does not detriment you at all, at least not in my experience. And yeah, so we can see that for what is learning, as an example, click into there. Yeah, so we've got all of these different resources in here that we can click into. And yeah, so the lecturer will usually upload it. Most of my lecturers have uploaded it at the end of the week because then they've actually had the lecture and then can take the time to upload it. And yeah, even as an on-campus student as well, it can be helpful to review the lecture content again, just to see anything that I might have missed, particularly for some of those subjects that are a little bit more difficult for me to get my head around. Yeah. Yeah, so that is,
Perfect.
yeah,
And certainly
fantastic.
if you're not sure,
Mm.
how your course is run, or will things be recorded, if you're not quite sure, please just reach out to your course coordinator who'll, have their name on there for you. Please reach out to them. They will know, they will have a list of all of the Head Start students next week. I send that to them. So please don't hesitate to reach out and ask any questions. If you're not sure exactly how the content will be delivered, or, if you need to attend something virtually, please just reach out to them. For this one, it sort of looks like there's a second presentation available later at night time that probably works, a lot better for, say, Head Start students. But please just reach out to your examiner or course coordinator if you're not sure by looking at your study schedule.
Absolutely. The staff are not scary. They are here to help you learn. I know that, yeah, when I first started, I was a bit nervous about reaching out to the lecturer, like, oh, I don't know, they're probably too busy, I don't know, but no, they're here to help us. And that actually segues very well into the next item on this list, is the teaching team. There we go. So we'll just click into that one. And so then here we can see that the course coordinator for this particular course. So you would usually reach out to the course coordinator or the course examiner. But if you're unsure, it's probably explained in the Getting Started tab, or you can just reach out to both. And so, yeah, we can see here that Mr. Mark Oliver is the course coordinator, and here we've got their phone number and their email, as well as their office at Toowoomba campus. And so quite a few of my lecturers have then also had their office hours listed in the Getting Started tab. So yeah, one of my lecturers had it on Wednesday, 10 until 2. Students, it's kind of an open door policy on that Wednesday, 10 till 2, 12 till 2. Come on in, talk about whatever you need to talk about related to the course, and can help you out. You can also often ask to just meet with them via Zoom or on the phone, or just via email at any time, because yeah, they're there to support you and assist you in your learning. Yeah, and so we can also see that the assistant examiner is Dr. Yvonne Sultan. Now, the assistant examiners are not often people that we'll see on the front end of the learning experience. They are more in the back end of the teaching team. So always look for the course coordinator or course examiner, or whoever is most active in the forums from the teaching team as well. That's often the rule of thumb that I follow for that one. And so then with the calendar tab here, this is where we can see the assessment items as well. So we can see that for this course, there was an assessment item on the 17th of February, and you can also click for this to be across all of your courses. So since I'm not enrolled in these classes, it's not going to show up there, but this is also a helpful way to look through and check when everything is due. There we go. And then the last one here is participants. So this is quite a large course. You can see there were 354 participants and only 2 of those were the teaching team. So really big course, which is why I chose this one, because education is one of the larger cohorts at UniSQ. But particularly for some of the courses that I've done that are maybe it's a bit smaller, you can see, most of these students are on campus. I might ask if we want to connect, because in here you can see that we have all of the students listed here. And when you click into their name, it comes up with their email as well. So this is one of the teaching staff. There we go. And so, yeah, their email is not actually listed, but yeah, we'll just click into a miscellaneous student and you can see an email just there. And so you can reach out to students like that, but mostly in the forums is what I would recommend, because that way you can confirm that someone else might be interested in catching up for study sessions or just getting to know your peers as well. Some online students that I have met as well, they have really found this to be helpful because they can connect with other online students who are in their course and going through similar things as them as well. So that is, yeah, really helpful thing there. And yeah, so down the side as well, this is the UniSQ Let's Go platform, which is, yeah, those orientation materials for getting started at the university and 5 tips to get on track, Studiosity, and we've got that past session there as well. There we go. So that one is all sorted. So we'll finish up that study desk tour. Now, I would also love to show you about how to connect your UMail account to your personal or your other student email account. So the key thing to remember, if you do this with your student email account for school, your school account will stop when you leave school. I remember being a bit surprised by that when I left school for some reason, but make sure to undo this if you do this with your school account. So I did link this to my personal email account when I first started. So it's just a simple Google search of UniSQ, how to forward UMail to personal email. This is how I find the instructions, and I'll link them in the chat as well, because I don't expect you to remember all of these steps. And so there we go. It'll just be this one that comes up here, Ask UniSQ. How do I forward mail from UMail to another email account? Go, and fantastic. So I've got that one open there. So this is my student email account. It's a little bit busy, as you can see. There we go. And I'll just give you a quick run through of how this works. It's pretty simple, but it's nice to have that reference to refer to. So we're just going to click the cog for settings and see all settings. And we're just going to go all the way over to forwarding and pop IMAP, and we'll add a forwarding address. So there we go. So pop that one in and then click next, and it will load for a little while for us. Fantastic. And so then it will get me to confirm and verify. And once it's done that, just click proceed and OK, and then it is all linked. Once I was then studying and I was accessing Study Desk a lot because I was using it every day, I realized that I didn't actually need it to be connected because I was getting a lot of emails at once. But it is a personal preference thing, and it was definitely helpful for the first semester that I had at university to have them linked. That way I wasn't missing anything. But then as I really became very involved in being on the study desk a lot, I was accessing my UMail pretty much every day, and I didn't feel the need to have that anymore. But it is a very helpful option, particularly since doing the Head Start program might just not be on your UMail accounts quite as often. So it's a fantastic option to have there. Yeah, there we go. And then one other thing that I'll go through as well is the residential school enrolment information. And so there we go. I've got these tabs open here. So I'll just also quickly clarify the difference between on-campus, external, and online study, because I know that that was a bit confusing to me as a commencing student. So on campus, so when you enroll, that is going to have something ONC. That's going to be the little code that is on that class. So that means that you're going to have on-campus lectures that you are enrolled to attend, and sometimes workshops and tutorials, depending on the class. So that is on campus. That's when you physically go to the campus. Now, online, that is where everything is online. So everything will be online for on-campus and external students as well, but online just means that there is no physical interaction with the course as such. So you don't need to attend campus or a residential school on campus. And so then external is kind of like a blend between on-campus and online, in that for the majority of the study period, you are going to be studying online, but then there will be a residential school throughout the study period, which will be listed in the residential school information. So I'll just get that one open. And so I've just searched UniSQ residential schools, and it's that top link there. This will take us to residential school, which explains in some nice detailed information exactly what it is, and how to access some accommodation if needs be. So I'm just going to click residential school schedule, view your timetable and class details. And so it will take you to this page. Now, a few students have gotten a bit tripped up when they've gone here because like, oh, this has returned nothing. I thought that I clicked the right link. You have clicked the right link. You just need to click one more thing. So just go to that most viewed section and click residential school dates. There we go. And so we can then see this is quite a large list of courses with residential schools. So what I'm going to do, I had a look before and I know that Bio 1103 is a course that has a residential school. And there we go. So pathology studies, it has a residential school in both trimester 1 and trimester 2. So the key thing when looking at these dates is to make sure that you're looking at the right study period. So trimester 1 has passed, so we are going to ignore that first line of information. And so we are looking here at this line here. There we go. And so this M here denotes that it is a mandatory attendance for the residential school. So that means that it is a course requirement in order to pass the course. And then TW here, that means Toowoomba. So that means that you'll attend Toowoomba campus for a couple of days. And we can see here, this is the important thing to pay attention to, is RS01 or RS02. So that will be in your enrolment information in Student Centre, which we can have a look at if needs be. But for RS01, we can just see that you'll need to come onto the campus Monday, 10th of June until Tuesday, the 11th of June. And the lecturer will include further information about residential school and how it works for their course in the study desk as well. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. And I think that that is everything that I had noted down to discuss today.
Awesome. Thanks, Samantha. Just really quick. So with
Yeah.
obviously the different codes there that we can see for the residential schools, do you mind, I think it's all located in the student centre, which
That's
one?
right.
Do you
Yeah,
mind just showing
absolutely. Yeah.
what that is?
There we go. So we'll just hop into, so we're back in the UConnect page here. And instead of going to study desk, we're going to go a bit further down and click Student Centre. There we go. And then going to go into Manage Enrolment. There we go. So there's a lot of helpful tabs in that area. So I would recommend having a bit of a poke around to find some more helpful information. And so at the moment, I am not in any classes, so there's nothing coming up there. But in your area, because you are enrolled in a class, the information will come up in there. Now I'm going to use that Bio 1103 class as an example for trimester 2. There we go. Okay, and so yeah, we can see here the course information. This same information will come up in that View My Classes /schedule area. It will look pretty much the same there. And so we can see it is an external offering, which means that it has a residential school. And we can see that the residential school is RS01, which then refers to the information in here. RS01 means that it's the residential school from Monday the 10th of June until Tuesday the 11th of June. There we go. Fantastic. And yeah, so then we can also see in there that it is Monday the 9th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Tuesday the 10th, 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. for that particular course. And then the lecturer in the study desk will explain a bit further about we'll be doing this on Monday and this on Tuesday. Here's what to expect.
Perfect. Thanks, Samantha. I know we've had a few sort of questions coming through there around the residential schools. So if you are in one of the sessions that I'll have up in a moment, please do stick around, you know, for that little bit at the end, just so that we can work through some of those questions, and we can talk about, yeah, obviously the need to attend those. Tegan, I just sent you a message there. If you can send me an email about your enrolment, because yeah, definitely that sounds a bit funny and I'll need to have a look in at that. So, but residential school questions, we've got some time available. So thank you, Samantha, very much for all of that. Hopefully that was really helpful. Again, this is recorded. You'll be able to step through it there later once you're all ready to go. I'm going to hand straight over to Jenny, who is from our Support for Learning team. So I think this is a really important section now to work through. We've had a lot of information, so let's just take a step back with Jenny, and we'll talk a little bit about wellness as well. Thanks, Jenny.
Hello. I can't share until Samantha.
Oh. There we go. Thank you,
Thank
Jenny.
you. Can you please give me a thumbs up if you can see? Oh, good. Great.
All good.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. It's great to see all of you today. My name is Jenny Wang, the Student Advisor Wellbeing based at UniSQ Toowoomba campus. Wow, there was so much information to digest. Well, this is all about well-being, and I don't want you to go away, but I would love you to stretch a little bit just to have a movement and then come back to me because I don't want you to go away. And today I will cover information about stress management and also the support that from UniSQ Support for Learning, how we support you through your study journey. So please feel free to ask any questions. You can use your chat function or maybe the end of our webinar as well. Okay. You can see all my slides, okay? So welcome to UniSQ. Head Start is a great way to begin your transition into a university life. It can be both very exciting, like I'm excited for you, and sometimes it feels a little bit overwhelming. So I feel a smooth transition into uni life is very important, and that will be require some of good planning and preparation. And so time management and plan your study become very, very vital for you. So you'll be sort of experiencing multiple commitments throughout your academic journey. So we want to make sure that you get all the support you need. So today, I would like to share the 5 ways to well-being, which will assist you in managing your stress. But however, I want to share this now. Stress in moderation isn't too bad for you. It can actually be beneficial in some situations, such as focusing on your performance, building your resilience. So, however, if it becomes too much, then it will lead to negative effects. So, we really want to talk about how you can manage that and share some tips with you to help you. So, the first one is stay active. So, get moving. So, we are going for a walk and going to the gym like I do, or just having a dance in the shower. So that will definitely help you to stay active. And the main thing is to feeling good about your study and your life. And the second one is connect. I can see some of our students with your parents right next to you to join our session today. So please reach out to your friends, family members, and sometimes classrooms online as well for the support. Build that connection can actually help you to feel belongingness and also boost your confidence. The third one, while you're already doing, is keep learning, embrace new challenges, and keep your mind engaged, learning new things, not only just to boost your skill, but also build your self-assurance that you can do it. Now, giving back is the big one for me. You feel that I'm only like 17, 18. What can I give it back? I'm asking you to have small action of kindness that will become a big make a big difference for you and for people around you, whether to help a friend or volunteer, or maybe just give a smile to the people that see you, and give that really lift your spirit and others and provide really positive impact on others. And the last one is to be mindful. Mindfulness is a big thing now. So take time to appreciate little things in life, including that we talk about small wins. So be present and notice the world around you. When you go for a walk, look at the flowers in front of you and the breeze just on your face. That reduce your stress and increase your sense of gratitude and connect with others. They're all good things about 5 things to enhance your well-being. But there are additional things I want to talk to you about. I know most of you are thinking about what's the time now? Nearly 6:20. I would like to go to my dinner. Jenny, come on. But I also know this is being recorded. So some of you might want to come back to listen to some of the things I share. So firstly, be kind to yourself. Train your brain to have this self-affirmation and talk to you positively that give you boost positive feelings. And also help your friends. If your friends are also doing the same course, give them that really lovely talk as that we both can do it together. Also, I know there are lots of commitments and now you are juggling a lot of things. So please practice to learn to say no. I can't do partying this weekend. I can't go to this catch up because I have some assignment to do. I have some study to do, and that it's okay. There are a lot of things I want to share with you, but I also want to share what support services you can get. So the next one is, of course, UniSQ provides lots of support throughout your uni experience. So with enrollment, the library we talk about, the referencing, how you do it, and lots of other things I want to share with you. And which is my team? My team is what we call support for learning. What is support for learning? Just by the words, all the support we give you while you're learning at UniSQ. So you can see that today I'll focus on well-being team. I'm a student advisor, so I provide information and guidance around how you do your budget, financial support. Some of the students will come to me, ask about scholarships, bursaries, and maybe potential student loans. Some of you are doing online study. In the future, you might be coming to the UniSQ campus study, and I can provide accommodation information. Other practical support could be Centrelink, legal advice, and JP services as well. So further, I can also provide triage, referral to appropriate service and support for you if you are encountering, more crises and more difficulties. The next part is about our counseling. We have Charlene talking about, you are so lucky to have a lot of free support services. And one of things is our professional counseling. Our personal counseling team offers brief therapy free for all enrolled students. They can help with managing your psychological issues, stress management, and more about your personal issues as well. We also have our safe community at UniSQ. It's all about a safe community for you. So providing support around domestic violence, sexual harassment, or when you encounter any unwanted behavior, maybe online, maybe while you're talking on the forum and you experience any unwanted behavior towards you or others, you can actually submit share concern form, and our safer community coordinator then will reach out to you and have a chat. And even if you don't want to share your ID, then it's totally okay. We'll do our investigation and provide support to you or others. So well-being, not just about the advisors, counseling, and we also have mental health nurse that will be able to provide you with additional support when you have a psychological distress, then we will be able to provide that support. And some of you, or maybe people you know that students with disability need additional support, we do have our accessibility team that provide assistance to all students with a diagnosed long or short-term medical conditions. An example is one of our international students just had a car accident and needing that additional support while he was attending the exams. And that's where our team can provide a support plan plan, exam adjustment, and study skill assistance. Lots of support. I'm going again and again. It's no ending. Hey. Lastly is our multi-faith team. We all know that well-being is not just about the physical and mentally, also sometimes the spiritually. So our multi-faith team offers support to students who require spiritual support, and you can reach out to our team and find out where is the prayer room, and also have just a regular conversation with our multi-faith team coordinator. And this is sort of probably cover most of our support at UniSQ, support for learning underneath that well-being team. And I will need to pass on to Charlene, who will be talking about learning advising, career education, or student enrichment. And can I just slide to the next slide and come back to this again? So this is where you can book your appointment and maybe just make a phone call to say, look, Jenny was doing a presentation and like to talk to her in person, or maybe on Zoom. She seems quite lovely and approachable, so I would like to make an appointment, and that's definitely okay. Now I'm gonna go back to the previous slide and pass on to Charlene for further information, please.
Wow, Jenny, I don't know how to follow that. That was amazing. Yeah, so our learning advising team is also in the wellbeing team area, and we're in G Block in Toowoomba, like on the previous slide. Jenny will flip back to that. I've already gone through what learning advising is, but again, now that you've been through your study desk and you have a look at all of those things, you talked about what Studiosity is and getting feedback. Feedback's a really good thing to learn how to deal with as well. So we structure so many sessions around so many different things. And there was in the library, if you actually go to the library page and scroll down right down to the bottom, that's also another area where you can find some more information about different webinars that we offer, which is basically like talking like we are now. But you might go, hey, Charlene, I need a bit of help with this particular feedback. What do you reckon they mean? And I can go, okay, Jenny, the feedback that they've given you suggests this, this, and this, but I can talk you through it in a university way as opposed to a high school way. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but just to get your mind set in a different wavelength. And then we have career education. So career education, you guys have a careers advisor at your school, or a guidance officer, or somebody at your school who you can talk to about careers. At the university, they have people who are 100% dedicated to career education. Their role is multifaceted. So for example, if you guys, listen to me go, very academic. If you are doing a psychology course and you find that you actually really like that course, but you don't know what courses are available to go beyond that one first Head Start course, you can make an appointment with the excellent staff at the Careers Education, and they can talk you through what parts of the psychology course that you like, and then they can give you a couple of options, and they can even make a career plan so that you finish your QCE, you get your ATAR that you want, you get into the course that you want. There are so many options that they can give you. Even for the first year students, if they start a Bachelor of Education, people think they want to be teachers until they start actually studying it. And then they realize, oh my goodness, I so hate this, but I like aspects of it. You go to the careers advisor and go, I like working with kids, but I don't want to have to plan the ins and outs of their everyday. So they can sit with you and work through your skills. They help you write resumes. They look at things that make you tick and how that can be a part of your career. Yeah, and they also do interview preparation and job search skills as well. So, you know, the things that you need to type into Seek, like if I was looking for a job and I write in teacher, it comes up with every possible available word for teacher. So it's breaking all of those different things down. And then there's the student enrichment, which is not my area. That is a student guild area. Jenny, do you know anything about that?
Yes,
Oh,
we do
perfect.
have Student Life that provides a lot of support to our students. If you are interested in creating a club or join a club, they'll be able to assist you. And Student Awards, the big thing for us. We recognize that you are studying here, not just focusing on study, but also other events as well. So we really have this amazing team to assist you, to support you through. And we all know that students are our partners. We want to look at your progression step by step and also recognize all your achievements. Now,
And
I know
and
the
Jenny,
time, yes?
it's all about making sure that students are successful, and we're just trying to back them up in every area. So mental health, getting your academic skills up and running, giving you career advice, and enriching your life at the university is all the package as a part of support for learning.
Correct. Wonderful. And I know I'm mindful of the time, but I want to know that if one thing that you can get from Jenny's 10 minutes talk is how to make appointment with us. Because there's so much things to digest, so much information to remember, but just remember that we are all here to support you, and how easy to make appointment with us. Chat with me or Charlene. So easy.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You so much, guys. I know that was a little bit rushed there, but really appreciate highlighting the support. And the biggest thing I want you guys to be able to take away is the support options. We have sort of said there that it's a little bit different to high school in that you do need to take ownership and responsibility of your learning, and that does just mean reaching out for help. We do quite a bit behind the scenes, you know, keeping an eye, but we do have many students. So it's very important that you reach out when you need some assistance, or you're not sure about something, or you have a question that you think is silly, because it's not. It's just important to reach out and ask those questions and seek that help. Fantastic. Well, those are the main parts of our presentation for all of our different people that have come on board. So I really appreciate everyone's time. I'm just going to share quickly a few top tips, I guess, that we've worked through today, and then we will sort of break off there and we'll do a quick session there with our residential school students. So again, please, you know, utilize that chat that I've mentioned for some questions they've been coming through. Thanks, Jenny, for sharing that link there, and Charlene, thank you both. So basically, I guess some top tips as we've worked through here, making sure that you take advantage of our facilities. So you are students of UniSQ as Head Start students, so you have access to facilities. I sort of put in the chat there before around it's probably a good idea if you can to get your ID card so that you can access facilities. You know, heaven forbid a computer has issues, or maybe the siblings are being way too loud and you've got an assignment due, you know, you can come and access our 24-hour labs, for example, or printing. Things like that. Take advantage of the facilities if you are around them. You are more than welcome on campus. We've talked about the UMail forwarding, so have a look at that so that you don't miss anything, because we know you've probably got personal, school, we're chucking in one from uni as well, so you know, feel free to consolidate your emails. Residential schools, we will talk about that, but please just make sure you're having a look at those. It's really important that you understand the commitment there, and that if anything's not working, you know, we have some time to look at things. Those past sessions, so the peer-assisted study sessions, please keep an eye out for those if they are on your course. They are fantastic. Like we said, they are for students, by students, and use the support services, please, as we go, you know, through the semester where you do hit those bumps and maybe some of those challenges, or you're just not sure of something. Okay. I had a little slide here as well. I'm sure you guys have come across this. We talked about some goal setting and achieving and celebrating those goals as you work your way through. So here's just a little piece around set SMART goals. Make them specific so they're not too airy-fairy and you know what you're trying to achieve. Make them measurable. That really helps as well. We want them to be achievable, of course, and relevant to your situation, what you're doing in your course at that time, and make them, you know, time-bound. Set yourself a little bit of a time frame to hopefully achieve any of those particular goals. And here's the email address for me, and obviously our website, of course, as well. So this email address, please utilise if you do have some of these questions, particularly if you're having a look at your course and you're not sure how you're enrolled or there's any issues. Please email me as soon as you can with that, so that we can investigate. So I've just got a question here. I was wondering, I'm unsure specific content as part of the Head Start course. Absolutely. So any real content questions is probably best for your course coordinator to start with. They're the experts, they're the ones putting it all together. So I would really encourage you to reach out to that course coordinator. If you're not sure, again, flick us an email, whether that's to the Head Start or support email addresses. If you're not sure who that person is, the likes of Samantha can help direct you, but they're the experts with the content. So really recommend reaching out to them. So I'm just going to stop my share for the moment. I feel as though we've worked through most of the questions. Again, feel free to put them in the chat or email me. But I'd love to just spend a moment with our residential school students as well. So I'm going to reshare for the few courses that I believe have the residential school. If your course isn't on this list, please feel free to log off. I hope tonight has been very helpful for you. But if you do see your course on here, would be great just to stick around for an extra 5-10 minutes just to answer any quick questions and run through a few key pieces that are specific to residential schools. So just going to share this so you can see those. But thank you very much for everyone who's not in these. Thank you for coming and all the very best, but ask us any questions along the way. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we'll just wait for everyone else to log off for a moment. If you think you've got a residential school that's not on here, please just stick around and I can easily double check that for you as well. I think these are the ones for our trimester 2. Okay. So looks like quite a few have hopped off there, which is great. Just having a quick look through the chat for a moment. Sorry, everyone. Oh, excellent. So we've got a question here as well around where to find your rooms for the residential school. So that's perfect. So I will absolutely show you where to see the map. Physically, they're around campuses as well, but that's a great question that we'll touch on in a moment. Okay. Narav, if you're still here, sorry, if there's any specific questions you have around your computer engineering course, definitely let me know. But you may very well have logged off there as well. But oh, yep, Narav, sorry, I think you're still there. So if you do have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, in terms of your course content for that particular course, that will all start to flow through onto the study desk over the next week. Classes officially start on Monday. So you'll start to see content and what to work through each week and the topics. If there's any assessments in those first few weeks, that will all flow through onto your study desk. And hopefully you were here for the tour before. If not, the recording will come out to you shortly. Okay, so for everyone else here for residential schools, these are just a few, I guess, key pieces of information to be aware of. So we've touched on this a little bit, but basically residential schools are all about having that face-to-face, on-campus practical experience. So you would have been working through the theory, all of the content as you go through, and this is the chance to put it into practice. So it should be a fantastic, exciting time where you come into the labs and you really get hands-on. So, you know, you can see a bit of a picture here of some of the students there in our labs. This, I believe, was taken at the Toowoomba campus, but we do have laboratories and residential schools held usually at the Springfield campus for most of these courses as well. So they should be exciting. It should be something that wraps up all that theory and gives you a chance to really delve into this area of study. So a few other little pieces here around lab requirements. Now, some of this is a little bit more specific to those bio courses. So sorry, I'll just flick back. For our AGR, if anyone's in that, you will have specific information. I'm just not sure that you need to worry about all these elements within the labs, but this will be good content to think about. So what to wear to residential school? So closed in, laced up shoes are a must. All of this information I am very confident will be on study desk, but it's good to talk through now quickly. Ideally comfortable, you know, long dark slacks. So you might get a bit hands-on with some different substances, but, you know, so we just recommend, you know, comfy, long pants, especially short-sleeved collared shirt, nothing inappropriate. I'm sure you guys are all across that, or graphics. So just being aware and considerate. You will be attending labs with both Head Start students, but likely also non-Head Start students as well from many different, you know, walks of life. They could be, you know, straight out of high school, a year or so older than you, or they could be, you know, into their second, third careers as well. So you'll all mix together, which I think is really exciting. So please don't worry too much about placements. It's not something that our Head Start students do move into. But something, you know, to be aware. You can see the photos of our branded uniforms. So down the track, you know, you might need to consider some specific uniforms. But really, for Head Start students, the most you may be required to obtain is a lab coat. That might not be for everything, and often schools have lab coats available. Just keep an eye on that requirement. It will be made very clear, and possibly some safety goggles, which you should be able to buy from Bunnings or, you know, any of those sorts of stores, you know, for not too much, $5, $10, something like that. So that is something to keep an eye out for if you're required with some of those safety elements. Okay, so here we go. So this is into our science lab. So these are the glasses I was mentioning there that you may be required to use and bring along. Student ID card. So this is very important. So for students that do have residential schools, please do get your ID card or bring your student number, but it's probably easier if you can come onto campus beforehand and get that card. It does make life a fair bit easier. Worst case, you know, just make sure that you know or bring along your student number and possibly a school ID or something like that. Oops. You might be required to do some pre-practical questions. Again, this will all be on your study desk, but there may be some elements there. Great question, Gracie. In the chats above, I did have the link of how you can get an ID card. You can access that on campus basically 24/7 because our security team look after that, and they're pretty much on campus 24/7. So maybe after school or even on a weekend, please feel free to pop onto campus. Perfect. Thanks, Grace. But if you're not close to a campus, you can do that online via a form that is all on that website. So please do have a look at any of those, you know, practical pre-questions. You know, we want you to be well aware of what you're doing and will be doing. So that's sort of going to all be there on your study desk prior to. And again, to connect mobile devices to the UniSQ network. So there may be some elements there where you need to, you know, say have phone, iPad, things like that. So you can access the Eduroam network as a student. we've got ICT staff that can help you with that. You probably don't need to bring your laptop for residential schools specifically, Mahik, but if there's any of those requirements, that will definitely be listed in your study desk ahead of the science labs or any of your residential schools. So just keep an eye on that so you're really prepared with what equipment or anything that you need to bring along. So hopefully that's helped sort of set the tone a little bit for those residential schools, but I hope we've got a couple of minutes, if that's okay, for any last minute questions. Hopefully we've been sort of answering most as we go along there, but definitely let me know anything last minute, or once again, please do email us. Headstart@UniSQ is probably the easiest to remember at the moment. So if you think of anything, if you're concerned about what residential school you're in, because certainly, you know, sometimes that can happen. Our admissions team do our best to look at locations and enroll you in the most appropriate residential school, but sometimes we don't get it perfect. So if you're not sure, or you can see, hey, I live in Ipswich, or I live in Springfield, Brisbane, I think I'm enrolled in Toowoomba, please let us know ASAP so we can have a look at that. Excellent. So Annalise, earlier we did a tour around UConnect and the study desk, etc. So to find the one that you're enrolled in, if you log into UConnect when you've got your details and scroll down a little bit to your student centre, that's where it should be located for you. This session is recorded. I'll be getting it up on, you know, sort of YouTube and out to you guys as soon as possible. But if you've got your logon details, please log into UConnect, scroll down to your student centre, and you should be able to see your enrolments if you've been offered and enrolled at this stage. If your application is pending, that will all, you know, take place as we enroll you. But if you do clearly have a preference, please feel free again to email that through, and we can send that to the admissions team to note when they enroll you, when you've had a successful application. Yes, please. So Elijah, yes, please. So email the Head Start email address. So if you've had a look at the link above and you can see a more appropriate residential school, please let us know that code. So if it's RS03 for Bio 1108, if you can put those details into the email for me so I know. If the Head Start info, when I applied, said there was 6 labs, does that mean there's 2 in a day? So you only need to attend one of the residential schools. So if, let me just go here. Can everyone see the residential schools screen and list? Hopefully that's there. No? Okay, sorry. Okay. Hopefully that's now coming up there for you. So if we were to scroll down, and I'll find one of these ones. There's obviously lots happening here. Okay. So if we scroll down to, here we go, Human Anatomy and Physiology B is probably a good example because there's a few options here. So if we have a look here, you only need to choose one of these to attend. So if you were around the Toowoomba campus, it would be either RS01 or RS02 that would be most ideal. Now, it is absolutely possible that some of these fill up. So that's why it's important to let me know as soon as possible if we need to look at changing. So it's just choosing one of these blocks. Same for Springfield. You would, look at, say, RS03. being the 26th to 28th of June, or if this becomes open, or you might be in 04, which is sort of the week after. So it's just choosing one of these 3-day blocks. So hopefully that helps there, Gracie, answer your questions there. So it's just choosing one of those to be enrolled into. And that's condensing. The aim of this is so that you don't have to attend, say, weekly or fortnightly labs. It's condensing it all into one commitment. Okay, so Annalise, so when you send an email through, if you can just let me know the course, I can have a look, but it's a bit easier if you let me know the course, and then if you were to copy and paste, say RS02, Thursday, 27th of June, if you took a copy and paste straight from that into the email, that would be really helpful, so I can pass that straight on to our enrollments admissions team to sort that out. So the course and the dates would be ideal. Are the res blocks shown on our student centre? Yes, so that's where it should all be once you're enrolled. Gracie, I know some people might still be sitting at being assessed, or may have only accepted their offer really recently, but as soon as you're enrolled, it will be showing up in your student centre. So that's by logging in to your Uconnect when you have those details. And those log-on details will come as soon as you're sort of enrolled. You'll get an email that will have that information. And that's where you can start logging into Uconnect, into your student centre, into the study desk, and start having a good look around. So Alyssa, if you have any troubles with your log-on details, so if you've accepted your offer and received that, please feel free to give sort of ICT a call, so via that 1-800 number, and they can always have a look as well in case something has gone amiss in the background. So if you're not sure, please feel free to call us about those log-on details. How do we tell which residential school is on that page? So Elijah, within your student centre, you should be able to see which residential school. So it should give you, RS01, RS02, some information like that. And then you can go straight to this page. I'll just put that in the chat again. I think it was up higher, but you can go sort of straight to this page. You can find your course, find which residential school, and see those dates, but it should all be in your student centre as well. What time would you like us to email? As soon as possible. 10 p.m. tonight if you need to. I won't be looking at emails, but they'll be there first thing in the morning. So as soon as you can see that there's an issue with your residential school, or there's an exact one that you want to be enrolled into, please feel free to send us an email with that, and we'll do our very best to work through it quickly. Head Start at unisq.edu.au, please, for any emails. That's probably the easiest at the moment until you get into the swing of things. So that would be the best one. Awesome. Hopefully that's helping everybody answer some of those key questions. I know we've gone a bit over time, so I do appreciate staying behind for these questions. Hopefully it's all been helpful. Please do, have a bit of a look. Send us an email if you've got questions so that we can get you all nice and ready by the time classes officially commence on Monday. Thanks so much, everyone. If you think of something, pop it in the chat. Otherwise, feel free to log off. Really appreciate you joining us. And I'm sure we'll talk soon. Hopefully see you at graduation a bit later in the year. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.